Golden State still looking to crack the seal. Payton right down the middle. He's fouled hard.
I don't know how y'all were feeling after that, but I was pretty disgusted by that play. I mean, rewatching it, Dillon Brooks had no way he was even going to block the ball, and the whole sequence was just a very dirty play in my opinion that more than likely ended the Young Glove season. Truthfully, that made Draymond's flagrant 2 back in Game 1 look like a common foul, but anyway. Immediately after the game, I checked out a video made by the GOAT of YouTube doctors Brian Sutterer. I went to his channel to get a quick analysis of the situation, and sadly, the diagnosis he gave of Payton's injury was, it's pretty bad. Soon after that, I read reports that the injury is an elbow fracture. Then, I did what I always do. I went on Google to see how long the recovery times are, and it's not looking good, guys. I hate to say it, and I hope I'm wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong, but it looks like after an electrifying year, Gary Payton's second season is finished. As we all know, Dillon Brooks was ejected immediately after with a flagrant 2, and sources say that NBA officials are looking at further penalties for Brooks. In my estimation, he's probably going to get hit with somewhere between a 1 to 3 game suspension, which really is nothing more than a slap on the wrist, because Payton's going to be out for what appears to be months. Just like all y'all, I'm pretty upset by this, but as of now, I'm going to answer one of the important questions going forward, and that is, what does this injury and loss for the Warriors mean as they progress on their championship quest? In the NBA, the spotlight is usually focused on offense. Whether or not it's one of Steph's ridiculous three-point shots, Ja Morant's ridiculous dunks, or even more recently, Giannis's assist to himself off the backboard, which was followed by a monstrous dunk. We all love offense. It's pretty to watch, it fills arenas with tens of thousands of people, and it's box office material. But never, and I mean never, after watching the NBA religiously for about a decade and a half, have I seen such a master of the defensive arts than someone like Gary Payton II. He's what I call the Kyrie Irving of defense. I mean, when you mix in his defensive footwork, his defensive IQ, and his athleticism, he's really in the highest tier of defense that an NBA player can be in. He swings the momentum of games, he makes big plays, and he's an important piece of the 2022 Warriors. In this Memphis series, he was the primary defender on Ja Morant, and he's also the only Warrior who can match his speed and make things tough for him. I mean, just look at this play here from Game 1. Here's Morant and Payton up top. Even on the catch, Morant is as uncomfortable as he can be because Payton's such a defensive hound. Then when Morant snakes his way inside, the young glove is on his heels and eventually tracks him down for the block.
Morant gets inside, shot blocked from behind, Payton.
Watching Payton guard Morant was beautiful to watch, and now I just hope the league does the right thing here and dishes out some more penalties to Brooks to prevent future plays of this sort because, well, it kind of ruins the NBA. Anyway, the Warriors will now definitely have to change up their defensive game plan on how to slow down the third-year superstar, but it should still definitely be possible if Draymond and the crew play some stellar team defense. I mean, in that first series between Memphis and the Timberwolves, Minnesota was able to limit Morant to shooting just 38.9% from the field and 20% from beyond the arc. The Warriors really have to watch more film to see what the Timberwolves did to slow down Morant, and if there's anybody that can do it, I'm sure Draymond can. Anyway, back over to Payton for a second. GP2 was also going to be the primary defender on Chris Paul in the Western Conference Finals. CP3 may have gone 14 for 14 to close out the series against the Pelicans, but I'm sure that would never happen if Payton was there guarding him. I mean, in the regular season matchups between the Warriors and the Suns, he was instrumental in disrupting the point guard's rhythm. Anyway, that's another story for another day. The Warriors may have lost Game 2 against Memphis, but hey, there's definitely a few bright spots to take away from this loss, and I'm extremely confident that the Warriors will win Games 3 and 4. So, hear me out. First off, with 2 minutes and 6 seconds left to go in the fourth, the Warriors were up by 1 point, and this was despite them shooting 7 for 38 from beyond the arc. Yeah, you heard me right. The Golden State Warriors shot a total of 38 attempts from three-point range and only made 7 of them. I mean, Wiggins went 1 for 7, Curry went 3 for 11, Clay went 2 for 12, and Poole went just 1 for 6. I said in an earlier prediction video that the Warriors would lose 1 or 2 games due to bad shooting, and this was one of them. I can almost guarantee that they won't shoot like this when they play at Chase Center. Anyway, The Warriors went 18% from distance in Game 2, and despite the complete dismal shooting performance, they were right there to win the game down the stretch. Did you know that even if they shot subpar at 30%, they probably would have had a comfortable lead all game? And if they shot what they normally shoot, which is around 35 to 40%, then Curry and Klay would have been sipping on pina coladas on the bench in the fourth quarter.
If you like pina coladas.
So that definitely has to give the Warriors confidence going back to Chase Center for Game 3. Next off, another huge bright spot for the Warriors are these numbers, 60 to 42. If you're wondering what these numbers are, it's points in the paint. Despite being the smaller team, the Warriors were able to pummel the Grizzlies inside, and like I said, when Game 3 comes around, if the Warriors just play the same physical style of basketball, and if they make the open threes that they should be making, then beating the Grizzlies should be a cakewalk. Memphis plays with a lot of grit and hustle, and to be honest, that's one of the main reasons they were so good in the regular season. But in these playoffs, the Warriors are matching their intensity, and I'm going to forecast that they'll win the next 3 games and close out the series in 5. But before I move on to the next point, did y'all see this play?
Ball movement leads to Poole on a kick. Wiggins still looking for his first field goal. Wiggins still looking for his first field goal.
Holy smokes, guys. Sheesh. I think that's Andrew Wiggins' most fierce dunk he's ever thrown down in his career. And it wasn't just that dunk either. I mean, look at his reactions afterwards. That's not just a mean mug. That's trash talk coming from Wiggins, and you know what? I love it. Wiggins has been playing like a complete monster, and with Payton out for the rest of the playoffs, I have a feeling that the all-star starter version of Wiggins is going to be back. And the truth is, the Warriors still have enough to win it all. As long as they have a healthy death lineup, their bench is deep enough to complement their starters to a championship. I mean, Otto Porter, Bjelica, the Splash brother-in-law, JTA, Kuminga, Looney, Iguodala, Moody. At one point in the regular season, all of these players prove that they are capable of big games, and now they'll just have to do their best to fill up the hole left by the young glove. It won't be easy, but the Warriors should still be able to pull off a series win against both Memphis and the Suns, and then hopefully, just hopefully, I was wrong about Payton's season being over, and just hopefully, we can see him in the finals in June. Anyway, on to another story here. Did y'all know that players actually trash-talked Kobe Bean Bryant, the Black Mamba? He was my inspiration not only on how he played basketball, but how he conducted himself in the face of adversity. And let me tell you, these players who trash-talked him all got their rear ends handed to them. If you want to know what I mean, then click this video right here. It's a big video, guys. And trust me when I say you're gonna love it. So click the video, and like always, I'll see you on the other side.